Hey, everybody, welcome to the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast here on YouTube. Before we do anything, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified when we put a new video up. Today, we are going to be unboxing the Goon, Mattel Elite figure. I don't know how this happened, but it happened, and we are going to unbox it. And when I say we, I'm joined by my good friend, Top Shelf Troy Nelson of the Off the Hop Rope podcast. Troy, hello.
Hello, Mark. How are you?
I'm great. Now, you say that you are the expert, the world's expert in the Goon career. Am I right?
I might as well be. And please, let's not get this confused.
Okay.
We're talking about the Goon,
Okay.
not Bill Irwin.
Right.
Bill Irwin's career as a pro wrestler, the guy who is portraying the Goon, started in 1977.
Okay.
Right?
Right. Yes.
And I've trebled in Bill Irwin. Very solid hand in Texas, Global, WCW even, in early 93.
Right.
When I was growing up, I got to see the Goon. And I will tell you this right now. As far as WWF matches, I have seen them all. Because we can count them all from the original run and afterwards. We'll talk a little bit about that, but we can count every Goon match that happened on TV on our two hands. And that's why we're doing this today.
Right.
It's a unique vlog for a wildly unique figure that this is like the weird wish list thing. Like everybody's got their, I hope they make this. I hope they make this. I can't even think of this being on a wish list because I just thought this would never, ever be made because in theory, guys, there's really no reason.
Right. Now, you said totally 6 matches, 6 televised matches.
No, that's incorrect.
All right.
We're going to count them off, guys, while we're doing this.
By the way, on the treadmill today, I watched 3 of them.
Yes, that's the thing that's interesting. Because there's so few of them, at least close to 50% of them from the original run, that is.
Yeah.
Are on the WWE Network. Real quick, in case you're curious, I'm going to tell you about the 2 that aren't a part of the original run.
Okay.
The Goon was included in WrestleMania 17 as a part of the gimmick Battle Royal. In addition to the fact that he had a gimmick, he had roots in Texas wrestling. As well, Bill Irwin, him and his brother Scott, wrestled down in Texas. That is part of the reason why he was invited to that, along with guys like Freebird Michael Hayes was in it, One Man Gang who spent time in Texas. They bulked it up. As a kid watching the gimmick Battle Royal, I just thought it was all the gimmicks. When I realized, if you actually look and see who's in it, Kamala, all those guys worked down in Texas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Goon was in the gimmick Battle Royal. And then the Goon was in another Battle Royal for the Raw 15th anniversary in 2007.
Okay. We're not counting those.
We're not really counting those. But if you'd like to, those are the 2 other Goon matches that happened televised in WWF/WWE.
Okay.
But today, we're going to talk about just the lead up to the idea of the Goon in 1996.
Okay, so he comes in 96. Here's my question. He comes in 96?
Yes.
And then he's out by when?
Technically speaking, on TV or just the house show loop?
So, all right. So, the whole time,
this is what makes this part of what makes this figure just wildly interesting. So,
right, he's not on TV much, but he's doing house show loops, is what you're telling me.
Yes.
Okay.
Those house show loops end at the very beginning of 1997. Very beginning. He has one match on TV in 97, and we'll get to it when we include it.
Is that against The Undertaker? Because I watched that one.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's talk about this figure for a second, because if you're curious, who should I display this Goon figure next? The only other person that he wrestled on TV, not counting the Battle Royals, was The Undertaker. If you take the defining moment, Survivor Series 96 Undertaker, the only true figure you could put the Goon next to as far as guys that he wrestled on TV, that is the figure you need to put the Goon next to.
Okay.
I will more than likely, when I get the details all reset up again, I have a new apartment here flying solo in Haverhill, Mass. Gorgeous apartment. just don't really have. I have the space if I wanted to get all the details, but to the point now where when I get my displays for details, it's going to be in a more permanent home. So I display the figures sporadically in nice little areas that look kind of cool, don't look a little too cliche. But the only figure right now for you trying to figure out how to display your Goon figure, if you have defining moments Undertaker from his Survivor Series 1996 bout, that is the figure you want to put the Goon next to. And I know that sounds weird, but that's kind of what happened. Now, there's some other people that he worked on house shows. We can talk a little bit about that, but do we want to open the figure? Do we want me to start at the beginning? What should we do?
I got an idea. Okay, here's what we're going to do. First of all, if you're wondering who Top Shelf Troy Nelson is, Troy is my...
Which I would hope none of you are. I hope.
Troy's my good friend.
The FWF Live.
Yes.
Go ahead. Talk about me, Mark, please.
All right.
If there's
commentator to FWF Live
that doesn't know who I am.
My former tag team partner in independent wrestling, but also most importantly, co-host of the Off the Hop Rope podcast. Did you know this, Troy? Went on hiatus 1 year ago this month.
Yes.
We finalized season 2, which was Taker's Mark, where we did, I think, 8 episodes on The Undertaker, and then took a hiatus. So it has been a year, but here we are. Broski kept saying it's a dead brand. I said, not dead.
Was it Broski or was it really Brian? I was surprised. I thought it was Brian that was beating the dead horse that's off the hop rope.
I guess both of them. But on the Off the Hop Rope podcast, which you can find both seasons, full season 1 and season 2, on wherever you get your podcast.
Season
it's
1
still
is
there.
well over 100 episodes, by the way. We just kind of bookmarked seasons for the sake of changing things up.
We paired the perfect beer with the perfect wrestling match. Each episode, we did a different unique beer and a different unique professional wrestling match. We did a little watch along. We did it with our friend CPA, another professional wrestler. But anyway, so Troy, you're drinking a little sip of sunshine. What did I see there?
No, this isn't the perfect beer for the perfect figure. I just want to have a great beer for such a great figure and a great concept here.
I love it.
Lawson's out of Vermont is known for their Sip of Sunshine, a double IPA.
Yes.
They also have something known as Double Sunshine.
Okay.
But this right here is a variant upon Double Sunshine, Ruby Red Grapefruit, Double Sunshine. Very refreshing IPA, clocking in at 8%. Clean on the palate, got really good grapefruit notes, real true, not just tropical notes, true grapefruit notes on the palate. Perfect beer for late March.
And well, hey, Troy, the sun shone bright on the professional wrestling world when it decided to grace us with the gimmick known as the Goon. Now, here's what we're going to do, okay? I'm going to bring in my unboxing video here, okay? And I'm going to make that
you have
large.
A specific thing just for unboxing. Very nice.
And while I open this figure, I want you to start from the beginning.
So let's talk about Bill Irwin real quick. Started his wrestling career in 1977. Started wrestling in 1977. Wouldn't call him a journeyman. He made his living off of pro wrestling, especially in the Texas area. Wrestled at the Sportatorium, the Von Erichs, Global in the late 80s, early 90s. Did a lot of stuff. In 1996, WWF, WWE, full of characters, full of some top guys. You have people like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart.
Let me interject here real quick. On the back, you'll notice this is definitely old Goon. This is like when he came back.
I was going to say that picture right there, the fact that there's a black rope on the top, and I don't know if that's necessarily, that's got to be the Raw 15th anniversary, but I figured that would be red roped because I don't know what was black roped at the time.
That could have been Photoshop, but this is definitely not the Goon from 96, 97. This is the older Bill Irwin. This side looks like the younger one. So
even that one could be fake. He had like shorter hair for the most part. It got a little bit longer by the beginning of 97, a little bit, but he had shorter hair.
Well, sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
I have something that I'll bring out later that will show you. Always a good hand. And in the middle of 96, WWE, they were bringing in a lot of these good hands and they wanted to give them characters. We talk about guys like TL Hopper. All right. Dirty White Boy. They had basically, Smoky Mountain Wrestling folded. Too good of a worker to not be working somewhere. TL Hopper comes in. TL Hopper, though, does in fact have more televised matches than the Goon, if you're curious. Bill Irwin, obviously everyone knows who he is just because he hasn't really been in the WWE. He had wrestled in 93 against El Matador Tito Santana on an episode of WWF Mania. If you want to look that up, like, they were aware of him and they knew he was a, comparable worker. He could get in there and do what he needed to do. In Texas in March of 96, during a Superstars taping, Wild Bill Irwin has a match with Duke the Dumpster Droese. I know. Any wrestling purist wet dream like myself. Where they're given a considerable amount of time, and obviously people in Texas, it's not just Bill Irwin, it's Wild Bill Irwin. And Mr. Perfect is on commentary, making sure people know that this isn't just some ordinary guy that's been brought in to, job to Duke Droese. Mr. Perfect talks about Bill Irwin's wrestling pedigree. He's a Duluth, Minnesota guy. He's from Minnesota. So Mr. Perfect knows him. Kind of came up with him. In March of 96, Duke Droese and him have a fun little match that's a little bit more competitive. Look at that figure. Look at this amazing thing that exists, and I can't believe it does.
I'm pretty blown away.
Oh, my God. It's amazing. It really is amazing. The Goon, yep, it's very, very unique. I'd love to see what Eamon has to say about this figure. It's down to a T, I think.
Yeah.
Pretty simplistic in nature to a degree, but just perfect.
Yes.
March gives way to the spring into the summer, and it seems that they have something for Bill Irwin, okay? So in late June of 96, post King of the Ring 96, they bring in Bill Irwin, and they straddle him in that there hockey jersey that you see. And in La Crosse, Wisconsin, the Goon is born. And let's just keep track here. Let's take count. He takes on Dan Jesser.
Okay, I watched that match
many times. I have all of Superstars 96 on DVD. I have all of 96 on DVD, Raw, Superstars. I have, all the commercials in the DVD.
Yep.
How does he win? Very Berserker-esque. Gets the guy to the outside after he drops the gloves like a hockey player would.
By the way, okay, so the bell rings, ding, 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 boom, throws the gloves.
It's like the gloves are off. It's like a hockey brawl. If you're a hockey fan, that's what he was doing. Yeah.
Which, with this figure, now this is so unique. There's no, really figures like this. I guess the boxing set, the boxing set. But if you take a look here, the gloves are actually hands, like you would, you can with
take them off, right?
With their interchanging hands, right? So then you can take that hand off and put the fists up, like he does, puts the dukes up for the wrestling match.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, go ahead. So how does he beat his opponents?
Well, what happens is he brings Mr. Dan Jesser to the outside of the ring, gets him as close as he can up to the stairs and the apron, does a running cross check as Vince McMahon, Jim Ross and Mr. Perfect on commentary, call it a cross check. It's on YouTube. You can find it. 96 Superstars is not on Peacock yet, so you're going to have to search for half of these Goon matches that we're about to talk about. They're probably all on YouTube. The cross check into the steps, into the side of the ring, drops, Goon gets back into the ring, wins the match. That
super unique.
In July of 96.
Pretty fun, yeah.
Pretty fun if you're 5 years old, almost 6 like me at the time, in July of 96. So yes, imagine, again, this is kind of what brings into it. Taped in June of 96, June 25th, right after the King of the Ring, airs in July. He works a couple events in Texas. He finds himself post In Your House 9 International Incident the next night, live on Raw from the Key Arena in Seattle, Washington, finds himself up against Wildman Mark Marrow. So it worked. That whole taping, he worked one match. Isn't that kind of crazy?
Yes.
They didn't have on Super Second. There's just one match. Dan Jesser gets trotted out on TV. And it works enough. Where at Monday Night Raw, the night after International Incident, the Key Arena in Seattle, Washington, he takes on Mark Marrow. That's the July 22nd, 96 episode of Raw. Look at that figure.
Hard to get to be honest, kind of hard to get the hockey stick in.
Well, that's what I'm going to have to figure out for when I do display him. I'm going to display him on my desk for a little bit now that I can finally open him today. Mark has kept you waiting a very long time. Maybe more on that later.
It was hard for me to get this. Thanks, Ringside Collectibles, by the way.
Yes, thank you, Ringside Collectibles. Mark Marrow takes on the Goon. And in what, in my mind, was a planned spot. The match that was supposed to take place before this was a tag team title bout with the Smoking Guns defending the tag team titles against Shawn Michaels and Ahmed Johnson. It was Shawn Michaels' birthday, and Sonny had brought a cake to the ring, managing the Smoking Guns at the time. It's a whole schmaz. The match doesn't end up happening. Sonny gets caked, and all the cake ends up out on the floor, all the icing and everything. And then the Goon wrestles Mark Merrow. And the Goon is in the driver's seat. Mark Merrow coming off a loss the night before for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Maybe the Goon wants to pick the bones here and try to pick up another victory, making him 2-0 in WWE.
Right.
The Goon gets ready for the cross-check on the outside against Mark Merrow. He comes running in. They never cleared the cake perfectly from the outside. And this is genuinely something that needs to be seen to be believed, because it's just, it's so real and looks incredible. The Goon slips on the ice. That is, from the cake. He goes to run. Merrow moves out of the way. The Goon slips on the icing, drives his knee into the steps, sells it. Merrow's trying to pick him up, and he keeps slipping. And mind you, his boots, as you can see on the figure, he's wearing skates. The boots are basically supposed to look like hockey skates. That's the whole thing. They're enormous.
Yeah, I was going to say, these are insane. They're
the
kind of
lifts
like...
on these boots seem to be like 5 inches off the ground. If you see what he actually looks like in those boots, that is exactly how big the lifts were. They were. When
I was watching the matches, I was trying to figure out, like, what did he make those out of? Like, it seems... I mean,
they're lifts, and they're just thick boots.
But they kind of like, at least for his first match, they were kind of like cut on the sides, so it kind of looked like skates.
Right. They did for the whole thing. They were supposed to look like skates.
Yeah.
Merrow's picking him up, and the whole thing is he's slipping on this icing from this cake, almost like as if it's a hockey player who can't get up off the ice. And he's beating Merrow starts beating the shit out of him. Merrow gets in the ring, does a tope over the top rope, float over, and the Goon is standing on the ice. So when Merrow comes down and lands on him, it's so slippery on his boots on this icing that he just squashes him. If there's one thing to take away, just go check out. Please watch the Goon versus Mark Merrow from the July 22nd, 1996 episode of Raw. The ending of this match is just incredible. He hits him with a tope after he slips on the icing, throws him back in, does the slingshot leg drop in, and that's it. Goon's at a 500 record now on TV. His next match, airing on taped on July 23rd of 96, airing in August, is a count-out victory against the one and only Doug Allen.
Who's Doug Allen?
That's it. That's all we know about Doug Allen.
Okay.
He was just a wrestler from probably the Ohio area. This happens at the Superstars taping. Let's see. Yeah, July 20th. So this is the night afterwards. This is in Yakima, Washington. I bet CPA would have loved Yakima, Washington at the Superstars taping. That airs, I do believe, August 10th or 11th, 96. Cage Match has it from when it was taped. And if I remember correctly, I should have checked August 10th, August 11th of 96.
Okay.
So the Goon picks up a win by count out, cross check once again. Now, the Goon double dips for his next 2 matches. So that brings us to 5. 2 matches against the Stalker, Barry Windham. Those happen in September and October of 96, respectively, on Superstars. You might find out that he loses both of those matches to the Stalker, pretty sure by superplex in both.
And Stalker is a babyface?
Yeah, Barry Windham was always a babyface until he became a part of the new Blackjacks.
Okay, that's what I'm confused. Yeah, okay. Got it.
So here we are. That's a whole month. That's a whole month worth of matches. Stalker versus the Goon happens twice, both sub 5 minutes, losses to the Stalker.
So we're at 5 matches total. TV
5 matches total between June and September, in theory, September of 1996.
Okay.
House show match against the Stalker. October 22nd, 96, 2 days after In Your House Buried Alive, at the Cincinnati Gardens in Cincinnati, Ohio, the Goon drops one to the real Double J, Jesse James. All right. That's match number 6. That airs the week before Survivor Series 96. So that's, it's on Super. Again, another match on Superstars. You'll have to go to YouTube for that. Jesse James, I'm pretty sure, with pump handle slam victory for the Goon. Match number 6. Has like a match in Texas. We come to just a very fun match. December 18th of 1996. Taped the night after Survivor Series 96.
Okay.
The Goon versus Flash Funk. We actually covered this match on Off the Hop Rope within the first 10 episodes. Flash Funk takes on the Goon.
Watch
6
that
minutes.
today.
Flash Funk just gets all his shit in, destroys the Goon with a moonsault from the top rope to the floor. It's a really fun match. Did you rewatch it today?
I did. He finishes him with a moonsault leg drop, which
does
is
the tumbleweed.
Insane.
That's
yes.
Flash Funk called that the tumbleweed. The moonsault switches into the leg drop, crushing the Goon's head.
Unreal.
It's a great match. That's match number 7. Let's tally that one.
Okay.
After that, another month goes by. No dark matches. No nothing. The Goon takes on The Undertaker. This match is taped December 17th, 1996, Daytona Beach, Florida. This is 2 days after In Your House 15. It's time. He takes on The Undertaker, jumps him from the bell. Match goes under 3 minutes, and The Undertaker, of course, defeats the Goon. This airs on January 4th of 1997.
I watched that today. He actually hits him with the hockey stick
he hits him
multiple
with the hockey
times.
Stick. Yes,
no
he does.
sells it for the Undertaker,
mm-hmm.
and then Undertaker gets him with a nice slap shot to the back.
Yes, he does with the stick.
Yeah.
Not the Undertaker needed to hit the Goon with the stick to defeat him, but he certainly did.
Also, something else I noted from that match: picks him up for the tombstone like he's a feather.
Yes,
he's
even
a big man.
He looks like he's 300 pounds, wearing all the hockey gear and everything that he has.
Exactly.
Goodness. So.
Also, before one of these matches, they showed the little vignettes that they shot with him.
Dan Chester and the Goon, they show where he came from. It's literally just him playing pickup hockey at a local rink.
Against one person.
People with yes. Seemingly one person, nobody in net, like one person in net just... And
bro,
Vince couldn't be more excited. Slashing!
Yes, they sent one camera with a VHS tape to a local hockey rink and was like, hey, hit this guy.
His promo before his match is, I've been thrown out of every hockey league that I have ever played in. Now I come to the World Wrestling Federation where there are no rules. But more Minnesotan.
Yes.
It's like if you look at the promo, it's like the camera must have been like this close to his face because he's like looks like this at the camera with his stick. I swear. Post the picture of him just with a stick. He looks like this talking to people. It's so weird.
Okay.
And Mark, this is what makes this such an interesting, fun little extra thing for our friends for the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. Guys, that's it. He has 2 more house show matches against Jake the Snake Roberts. So I guess if you need a figure that isn't if you have your Undertaker sandwich between Mankind 96 with the removable hair and maybe like Vader or something on your display, if you need to put the Goon next to somebody else, that, like Hangover Saver Jake Roberts from 96.
Right.
Because after The Undertaker taped in 96, airing in 97, mind you, that's important. He takes on Jake Roberts, 2 house shows, February and March of 97. And then we don't see the Goon again until the WrestleMania 17 Battle Royal.
So now here we are opening an action figure of this man who had 8
true televised matches. We talked about his match against Duke Drosy, where he was presented as Wild Bill Irwin, still lost, but Mr. Perfect was hamming him up on commentary. You can't count that. It wasn't the Goon. The Goon had 8 pro wrestling matches.
But it's just really cool, and it shows you, like, these characters stick in our mind. Look, the whole wrestling figure world, at least the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast community, really kind of freaking out about this figure. Everyone needs the Goon. Why? And then you ask yourself, he barely had any matches. Why?
I want to know how many people that have this fondness for the Goon saw his matches as they happened and aired for the first time. I know for a fact, 100%, that his match against Doug Allen, I watched as it happened. Because it was right around my birthday. I remember getting excited to watch that episode of Superstars near my birthday when I turned 6. And I remember thinking, wow, this guy's serious business.
But
This is the
but
guy,
you see
right
a
here.
hockey
It's gonna be
player,
the
you're
future.
like, oh, I remember that 100%, and it
That's the
sticks
thing,
in your
do you
brain.
think in your mind, Mark? Obviously, you watched wrestling in '96,
Yeah.
and then obviously it's easy to pinpoint it. That Superstars '97, that very first episode of the year '97. Did you watch any of those 8 matches as they happened? Do you really think you did?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
That's the thing that's interesting. Yet we all sit back and we remember the Goon, and we have a fondness for such a dumb idea that's great that I love. But he gets a figure.
The
Here he
boots are
is.
so great.
So this is what I talked about when this figure was first announced, as far as like who has deals. What do we have in store for the future, guys? This is the figure that's going to make anything and everything possible as long as Mattel has access.
Right.
Think about guys like Duke the Dumpster Droese. Worked 2 years for the WWE. If they'd make a figure of a guy that had 8 matches, why wouldn't we get a figure for a guy that had 2 years worth of matches on every taping, whether we remember him or not? Right?
Yes.
The
And this
Goon-
is just one of those figures that, like, it technically doesn't fit into any of my rules. Not at all. Like, I have no reason to have this figure, but I do have a little amazing Mattel miscellaneous shelf, and it's just going to go right in there.
Absolutely.
Right next to the, Mr. T boxing figure and, like, the Undertaker Boneyard match figure. I just have no reason to have.
But meanwhile, that's what I mean. Just for me, people that know me, people that listen to Off the Hop Rope, and people that just know me in general from being a part of the Major Pod family, knows how special the year 1996 is for me in wrestling.
Yeah. Honestly,
This figure
they couldn't have done this
arguably
better.
the most must-need figure for me of the year right now. You know what I mean? Like,
If I had to make a
is there another
nitpick,
figure I need more this year than the Goon?
no.
Until we have the big time reveals again come July. You know what I mean? Like, this is like nothing is gonna beat this. Look at this incredible figure. That's him. That's Bill Irwin. So like you said, Mark, the picture on the back of the box.
That's old. That's older Bill Irwin.
That's
but,
like that has to be from the Battle Royal or something. I don't know what. Now,
but also take a look at this. I don't think Bill Irwin looked like that.
Never did. Go watch his match against Flash Funk. His shirt comes up. Just looked like me.
That's okay.
Literally looked like
you don't
me.
know. Hide
Now,
it right in there.
How do you want to display your Goon? What action pose are you gonna have for your Goon?
1,000% this right here. This is what I've decided. I mean, I could see you putting the Dukes up with
I'm
the.
gonna try to maybe go something different. And this is where I have to reveal something else that I collect that people know is the original promo photos.
Okay.
Goon had 8 matches.
Right.
And still somehow got a promo photo.
Right. But he was there for a year, so I can see that.
Who? Goon?
He was there for most of a year.
He was there for 6 months, Mark.
Okay.
Think about everything that he was there for 6 months.
Okay. True.
TL Hopper never got a promo photo and had more televised matches than the Goon.
All right. Let's get eyes on that promo.
This is how I'm going to try to figure out a way to display my.
Oh, all right. Yeah. But he still has the glove.
How many signings do you think they sent the Goon out to? And kids were like, if they missed 2 episodes of Superstars, we're like, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
No kid kept their Goon promo. He was probably sent out to 1 or 2 at the most. So nobody has this. I have an original. If you find one on eBay and someone's selling it for $20, $30, it's a copy. They took it online and they did whatever.
Yeah.
I paid $300 for this, guys. Because this just doesn't exist. And it's signed too.
$300 for a piece of paper, but at least it's signed.
It's an original. This is Bill Irwin's signature. The whole thing is it's just the idea that like he went out on probably 2 assignments with his box and then that was it. These were never made again. And I love this character. I will display this figure on my desk for a little bit with this promo while I have the limited space. I'm going to try to go for something like that. He sells these when he does like live stream autograph signing and goes to them. You'll see them. They're not originals. He probably has no idea that if he had originals, they'd be worth, if he had a stack of them, $200-something a piece, but it's in high demand. So let's see here. If I am looking at the Goon, he's pushing forward with his fist. His arm here is facing down. The hockey stick facing out. but it's going in the hand like this. Of course, I can't fit it into here. I'm going to have to go. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I'll have to go in this way.
It's very
hard.
It took me a while to do. But while you're doing that, let's get some last words about the Goon and the figure. I'm happy that it happened. I'm happy to have it. I'm going to display it proudly. But I appreciate what Mattel is doing with these very interesting sort of legendary figures and characters. So last words, Troy, before we finish this video out.
I'm so happy that we have this figure. And again, I think the biggest part about this, other than me just loving the Goon, is the floodgates that this figure opens for us to just think about over the coming years that Mattel has this license of the guys that they can make. The Duke Droces of the world, the TL Hoppers, the Aldo Montoyas, the guys that you don't think you're going to get. Anything
Flash
is
Funk,
now
Mark
possible.
Marrow.
Anything is possible.
Yep.
Because of this
Ahmed
guy
Johnson.
Right here. What a great, excellent figure.
Thanks for joining us, folks. Thanks for coming on, Troy. Happy Goon Day.